Coach Rhoades will start an opening statement, then we'll take questions for Yanic Konan Niederhauser, and then questions for Coach Rhoades so that we can
Well, first, I just want to say thank you to everybody for being here tonight. That was a great environment. I appreciate the administration and everybody that set that up for this game. So I really appreciate it. We don't take that lightly. We know how hard it was for everyone to get this to work this week, so we really appreciate it. So, but we didn't hold up our end of the bargain, and that was a disappointing game of basketball for us. I put my name on it, I stamp it, and just not good enough. And so you try to build a program, you go through days like this and moments like we've gone through the last couple of weeks. We got to learn from it and get better, but just credit to Ohio State. They came in here right off the bat and took it to us, and we had some moments where we tried to stay connected to the game, and I think at one point where they shot 21 free throws, 10 of them were us fouling three-point shooters, a flagrant and a technical, and that's beating yourself. And it's hard enough when you're thin to beat good teams like Ohio State and teams in our league when you're beating yourselves, and that's what we did. And that's on me. I got to help these guys. I got to get these guys through it and figure it out. But today was disappointing.
Questions for Yanic? Raise your hand. Mason.
Yanic, kind of talk about the game you had today. Obviously, it was physical, battling against Ohio State's bigs. How did you feel like you did today?
I did good, played aggressive. I mean, it was obviously not enough to win, but gotta keep working on it and keep building on it.
Daniel.
Yanic, can you walk us through your one-handed dunk where you drove from the perimeter? What did you see on that?
I just saw the lane, and I think I missed the layup before, so I told myself I got to dunk the next one. That's what I did.
Pretty nice.
Seth.
Yanic, from a player's perspective, first year in the program, what do you think you guys can learn from this past month?
We always talk about adversity. This is what we got right now. Right now, like how the season was, like season up and down. Now we just got to find a way back. And what coach said before, coach said before the game, that it's always like that's how life works. Sometimes we're down, but we gotta keep work our way up. So we see the other side of the I don't know what's the word, but we just gotta work our way up and get back to the winning side.
Mason.
There were multiple stretches where the offense went out on a field goal for several minutes. Was it something that Ohio State was doing specifically, or was it just simply not making shots?
Can you answer?
There were several times where the offense went several minutes without a field goal, like a layup three. Like, what's something Ohio State's defense was doing, or was it just the offense not making shots and executing?
It was just probably us just not executing, because we are offensively team, so not being able to make field goals, that's on us, because we can't score the ball. So.
Okay. Thank you, Yanic. You can head out.
Cool.
Questions for Coach Rhoades? John.
Mike, you mentioned that you guys are beating yourself. Why do you think that's happening?
Well, seasons are like this, and so you have your moments where individually you're playing well, you're not playing well, and as a team you're not shooting it well or you're not guarding well, and we've had so many moments here this month where we're close, John, but I wish we had that turnover back, or we didn't execute this play, or we got hung up on a ball screen or something whatever it may be. I just too many plays where we've done that at a high level, but we didn't do it in that moment, and it really hurt us. And now today was more of a crash course because they really took us out of stuff, and then we fought the game. Said just keep playing, get to the next action, and that's frustration. And look, there's no excuses. It could be frustration for the last 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks. It could be in-game frustration as an individual or as a team. And if you would have told me we were going to shoot 29 free throws and draw all those fouls, I think we're going to be in a good position. But we had too many plays, from turnovers to not executing a call to not executing the defense, especially in the half court with some of the plays they ran that we knew were coming, just not high level enough to be in a Big Ten game.
Mark and Daniel.
Mike, you were out rebounded significantly, and it wasn't just the bigs. It looked like their guards were getting after it. Sometimes that could be perceived as not having the level of effort. Was the effort what you needed to be?
No. I mean, the number one thing when you get stuck in a hole, right, or you have an adversity, you got to compete, and you got to be a savage about it. And it's not always about the X's and O's. Sometimes it's about the just flat out competing. And we held Michigan to 7 offensive rebounds, gave us a chance to win. Tonight we gave up 9, I think, in the first half, and they scored off a bunch of them. Gives them great energy. When you offensive rebound early against a team, you know what happens? Everybody starts going.
Yeah.
And then we got in rotation, and you know a couple of times. Just for example, Yanic goes over to block a shot. We got to rotate and block his man out. So if there's a miss or a loose ball, we got to put a body on him, and we didn't do that. And then when we did do it, we pushed the guy in the back. And now they're shooting 2 foul shots like that. That's beating yourself type of stuff that, I think our guys compete. I was disappointed today at times. I think our lack of offensive success impacted our defense, and it looked like that, and that's on me. I got to get these guys to move on to the next play and compete, and that's got to be my goal here in the next 3 days.
Daniel, then Andrew.
Mike, what's your message in the locker room after not only a game like this, but this stretch that you guys are in?
Well, nobody feels sorry for us, Daniel. Nobody feels sorry for you. So, nobody's coming to save us. So figure it out, and you got to fight like crazy. Like I hate to say it, but I've been in programs before where we were in this place, and the only way you get out of it, and the way you get out of a hole is together. But you got to fight like crazy, and you can't make excuses, and you can't listen to the noise. And in this league, you go win 2 games in a row, you're hot. The thing about it for us is before going to beat somebody else, you can't beat yourself, and that's disappointing. That's been disappointing for me. I take full responsibility in it. But you're right. When you get beat up a few times, and you get punched out a couple of times, the one thing you can't lose is your fight. You got to keep going.
Andrew, then Nate.
Coach, up here, you mentioned fight a few times. You mentioned they were frustrated. Clearly, they were frustrated with body language. Are you okay with the effort they put in tonight? Are you worried?
No. It's got to be better. It's got to be better. You got to your best response to adversity is to fight more and fight harder and be more aggressive and run harder. Like, there's no excuses. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough for me and our coaches. It's not good enough for players. Penn State deserves better. But this is part of building a program. This is part of going through tough times. You got to find out who's with you and who's going to compete. That's what that's number 1 on the list. And when you have a lot of adversity, you find out who's all in, and you got to compete. You just you get frustrated because just because you want to win really bad doesn't mean you're going to win. And we're going through a stretch right now. We're not winning, and we got to fight.
Nate, then Max.
Mike, this is kind of a game flow question, but you guys have trailed in the first half and for long stretches that you're constantly, like not just this game, but over many games now, trying to claw your way out of a hole. What kind of impact?
Well, number 1 is defensively, we're letting good players get going. That's number 1. We let Mobley get going, and now he's on the top of the scouting report. Don't give him threes, and we gave him threes, and he got going. And make him shoot 2s, make him a driver. So we let some of their better offensive players get loose, and then offensive rebounds. So I think those 2 things are the 2 biggest things on the defensive end. Is we're given too many 3-point opportunities early in the game that people get confident in the rebounding part. I thought we rebounded the other day well enough to win the game. We just didn't win the game tonight. We didn't, and I thought those 2 things. And then our lack of offensive production at times in the first half, fighting it, and but turnovers. I think unforced turnovers have really hurt us in the month of January.
3 more, Max, Seth, Joe.
And Mike, on your left. We talked yesterday about Ace being a little banged up. Looked like Yanic was in some pain tonight, but those guys both played 33 and 39 minutes. Was there a reason why you waited until so late to take them out?
Trying to get back in the game. I mean, remember last year's game? We were down 18 points with something left. So, I mean, I'm not going to concede a game. I'm going to keep fighting. In this world, in this game, you make a couple threes, you're right back in it. Get a couple stops that lead to some easy baskets, you're right back in it. So, we're thin, we're banged up, but we ain't quitting. I'm not quitting.
I want to follow up on Ace. Tough finish a game ago, and then tonight it seemed like he was, kind of struggling at times. They put a lot of focus on him defensively. What exactly went wrong, and how exactly does he kind of make his way out of the hole?
Yeah, you gotta keep playing. You just gotta let go of the last play, good or bad. Just keep playing, and he competes, but he's frustrated, just like we all are, right? And when you're frustrated, it's harder to play. It's harder to see the game cleaner, and he knows better. And the one thing about him is he takes the loss really hard. He takes it to heart. He takes it personal, and you'll see him come back. He's just. He's been banged up, and he's been in some tough stretches, and he's on the top of the scouting report for other teams. And, they try to swallow him up, and he had 6 assists. I thought he had a couple where we didn't finish, and, we just gotta play through that and play onward to the next possession. And we're holding on to the last play, especially if it doesn't go our way too much. But that's sort of what happens when you're in a rut and you're in a tough spot.
Mike, you mentioned being thin, and obviously Puff being out plays a part in that, but is that all just injury related, or is there anything you're looking for from maybe the
Well, guys got to play well, right? Some guys have got to play well. You got to, just because you play, you got to, it's not that you fill the stat sheet up to have a triple-double, but you got to have impact on the ball. You got to have impact on defense. You got to impact guarding the ball. And then on offense, you got to, sometimes you're the guy that gets the ball hot. You're the guy that makes the pass that leads to an assist. You got to impact the game just by not scoring, but by doing all the other things. I think that has a lot to do with where we're at, and we had great flow going into January, and even in games, early in January, even a couple games we lost, we were playing the right way. We're just fighting the game right now, and that's frustration, and that's what we've gone through, and we got to figure it out. We still have a lot of games left, and we're close. Today wasn't close. We got our butts kicked today. But I believe in these guys. I love coaching these guys. We just got to be better.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks,
everyone.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.